Okay, I document this because this is my diary. What's popping 10? Maybe I need to name this channel Jana's Diary. That would be great. Um, as RM did with our Kiev. I find it so great. It's so beautiful. But I just want to say that for most of the years of my life, since I was, I don't know, 5, I thought I had a terrible voice, or I was very freaking insecure about my voice. But singing and being an artist is one of my biggest dreams. And I always felt insecure and bad about my voice because my mother told me that I don't have a good one. And that's basically when I started being very insecure about myself and about my voice. And no matter how many people said to me that I have a good voice, no matter if I got to college to study music engineer in order to prove that, no matter if I had a teacher doing vocals together outside of my college after years after, I still didn't believe that I had the great voice. Even though he and another teacher, which we were doing vocal lab together to prepare for a concert in life, she told me that I have crazy how do you say this in English, like crazy turns in my voice. I was really happy, but I wasn't 100% believing in my voice and in myself. And this is how bad and how terrible you can feel living with a narcissist and narcissist abusing you, and not just the narcissist. Okay, not just the narcissist. It wasn't just my mother, it was also her partner after a little while, for basically telling me, because he was living with us for like 2-3 years, why am I even singing at my own house? And I was so afraid every time I was singing, that I was being watched and criticized and judged. And it may seem so little, and it just may seem like, okay, just get over it, right? Like, okay, you were a child and she said that. It's 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 not what she said, it's how she said it. And it's the fact that I was very, very young for such a comment. And it was the fact that she never believed in my dreams. She never supported my dreams. And, I had to be 25 to 26 to realize, after hearing my voice on lives and the concerts that, this one concert that I did, and the preparation we were doing for another concert that didn't happen. I had to hear those things after 2 years of being out of contact and basically not having my mother in my life. I had to then realize that I always was the shit. I always had a great voice, and actually I was in love and I liked my own voice. So for so many years I was living for the approval of others, but I was in constant doubt of myself and my abilities and everything. And that's how a narcissistic person can take your power away, by minimizing you, by taking everything you are, by you losing your core, you losing who you are, you not seeing clearly, you being blinded by your own, by your own, no, you being blinded when it comes to your own possibilities, to your own beautiful gifts, talents, and it was crazy because after years I was like, damn, I like my voice, I'm not bad. It took me 26 years to say that shit about myself. Do you realize how big and deep the damage is? That it took me 2 years away from this person in order to finally come back to my core. And it took me 26 years to finally admit to myself, damn, I like my voice. Damn, I'm not that bad. Damn, I was judging myself and I was minimizing myself and I was making myself look and feel smaller. When in actuality, I wasn't as bad as I thought. I was criticizing myself, and I even started things. I did things to prove to myself, but also to others, that I deserve where I am. Because I needed a proof. And still nobody cared. Nobody gave a fuck. Okay, even when I did what, I put it in my vision board. In my vision board, in 2020, when I stopped my college, it was for me to to do my practice at my teacher's studio. But because of COVID, I just couldn't, and I waited for 2 years to actually do my practice, which I was being very freaking criticized and very freaking pushed and pressure from my mother to do it. But I still trusted my instinct and still trusted my voice, and I'm happy I did, because I choose to split my practice 3 months in radio, which they were treating me very good, actually, thank God, because it was also a really crazy era of my life back in 2022. And then I did everything to get to this teacher studio, and I actually did it. I got in contact with him. I did everything. I wrote everything. And I just want to say that everything I put in my mind in this life, I have achieved, because I never lose my focus. And at the end of the day, I always listen to myself. But I also want to say that I did a lot of things in order to prove myself and to prove my quality, my value. But I no longer do those things. I used to be this person. I no longer am. And I'm doing this video just as a reminder of how a narcissistic person can do to you. And growing up and living with narcissistic parents, what it could do. And in this channel, not only I want to document my life, but I want to make people feel, resonate with me. Because when I wanted to go in contact with my parents, especially my mother, I was looking at a lot of no contact videos, because they were helping me realize how bad it is living with her. And still, it took me a lot of time to actually make this decision, after a lot of letdowns, after a lot of things that didn't went good, after a lot of hurting. Still, I did. But those videos helped me change my view on how she was, and start to realize and connect a lot of dots. So I'm making this video just to tell you, sometimes maybe it's not you. Sometimes maybe you were programmed to fail and live and see yourself as a failure. It was never you. It was how people programmed you to believe and feel about yourself. And if you feel like shit, most of the times it's not because you are. It's because someone saw you shining so brightly, and they just wanted to take from it. Because let me tell you something. I opened this camera basically to say this person has been such a bully in my life, and what bullies are. Most of the times, bullies are just miserable people who just want to mess with other people's lives. And most of the times, bullies are people who are jealous of others, and they want to take something from others. Because why would you put so much energy, time, and presence on someone you do not like? Okay? And why you hate someone so much that you put so much pressure, time, and energy, so much presence, time, energy, everything, to prove that they're wrong, to prove that they're ugly, to prove that they're this, to prove that they're that, right? To prove that they don't deserve to be here and they're of value. Why would you do that? Okay, because they bother you. And why they bother you? They have something you don't have. Most of the times, that's why people get bullied. Okay? And most of the times, we don't even realize our own light. But I was like, my mother was always jealous of me because she never got to do what she wanted. I always got to do what I wanted, and I always chose what I wanted. She never did. Her parents never allowed her to do what she wanted and chase after her dreams, because they taught her that she is rich, and because she is rich, she is covered and supported and safe. But her life never was what she wanted, and she never got to do what she wanted. And even though I did, and maybe I failed, maybe I'm not a good whatever, I still did what I had to do. And sometimes people are jealous of that. The fact that she wanted to control me is because she never had any control of her life and her decisions. And, I have made a lot of peace about it because I'm no longer bitter about the things that I was in the past, because now I realize, now I understand, I was never the problem. I was never the problem. And, these people did what they had to do, and they did what they did because they hated themselves. They were miserable with themselves, basically, right? Like, why would you ever make your kid feel bad about something that they already have as a gift? Why would you make someone feel small about their gifts, about their value, about everything? Why would you do that to someone, especially your kid? It makes no sense, okay? You did that because something is bothering you deep down inside. And it was never me. I was just, a reason. I was just a reflection. I was just a mirror. I was something to bother you in order to understand and realize your problem. Nothing else. Nothing more. you know? And I just want you to know, most of the times, it's not a you problem. It's a them problem, especially if it comes to parents. Because a kid cannot do something wrong, because a kid is a kid, does not know this world. All it knows is their parents. When we're kids, our parents are our world. And we listen to everything they say to us, and we take it so much to the heart that we grow up being adults and living inside those programs and those patterns and everything that they have built or said to us, because we took it in and we accepted it as the ultimate truth. Well, it isn't. So if you see in this video, I just want to remind you, you're not alone. You're not not of value. You are valuable. You are valid. You are seen. And people, especially your parents, if they try to put you down, is because they're miserable themselves. They wish they could be you. And a lot of times is because they're jealous of you, and is because something is bothering deep down inside, and it was never you. It was never you. You were never the problem. Yeah. I just want to remind you that. And speak your mind. Okay? Get back your power. Choose yourself. I will always be forever saying that shit. Because it's my truth. It's my journey. Choose yourself and choose your truth. I had to be insulin resistant in order to change my lifestyle. And it took me some years. It took me some time, but I'm here.